in the rankings. Out the back. So he now can start thinking about the clean and jerk. Now here's Kadir of Bulgaria. One man who's already finished lifting, Mario Kalinka, the junior world silver medalist, lifted 170 kilos. But this is illustrious company he's keeping. Oh, this time much better. Got the position right in the first move, and that made the drive up so much easier. And he gets 175. Very pleased to have recovered. 2.5 kilos more on the bar now. Vladimir Emelianov from Belarus, but in fact the game plan changing. Two men from Belarus in tonight's competition. Christo, who's finished at 172.5. Emelianov, the man who finished 5th in the world last year, yet to take his first lift. Dennis Godfried for the Ukraine. The next man out lifted 172.5 the first time, and the bar at 177.5, so a 5 kilo step for him. Only 19, and currently 12th in the world rankings. That's pretty respectable. He's lifted 172.5, so this 177.5 is a very, very good standard if he can achieve it. And that was a very, very good lift. Very solid indeed. One lift to come for him. And I think it's fair to say that the world record will be attempted in the snatch tonight, 190.5. And now we're so close to the 180 mark. $25 kilos each of those red weights. Men's bar weighs 20 kilos. Oh, again, a good piece of control in the low position. And Karapetyan of Armenia gets the lift. Karapetyan moving up from the 91 kilo class, in which he finished 6th in the European Championships this year. So one of the lighter men in terms of body weight, which as ever is going to most likely play its part tonight in the competition. So that's a good third lift by the Armenian. Rybolchenko at 177.5. Well, he failed the first lift, then got the second one at 172.5. No problem with that. So a good lift for Rybalchenko. So now the bar goes to 180 kilos. And a first appearance for the first of the two Russians, who certainly in reasonable form. So the world champion, this his first lift of the evening at 180. The world overall champion, I should say, but not the world champion in the snatch. That's the title that belongs to his teammate Zaitsev, who's yet to lift. No problem with the opener. Gets it nicely over the body with the feet underneath the bar. And quite noticeable tonight that the officials from the International Weightlifting Federation are being much stricter on their control. The sleeves are getting rolled up and the loose talcum on the thighs, that's being brushed off. Now, Emelianov for Belarus, this is his first lift. 24 years of age, 5th in the world. Couldn't hold the position there to correct the balance. So a failure at 180 for Emelianov. Now, man from Georgia, Gogia. This is Mukran Gogia. Has lifted 177.5 this year, so 180. Looking for immediate improvement. Doesn't get it. Gogia, quite interesting, the bronze medalist in the European Championships, but now Kopitov, 180 kilos. This is a 10 kilo increase on his opening weight. And again, another big question. Too big. It's not the strength, it's the technique. He didn't put the bar over his head and into the right position, then became unstable, and little choice but for him to come out the front and the bar to go behind. So now Grigorian of Armenia. 180. Not such a big step for him. Gregorian, who finished 4th overall in this year's European Championships, lifted 177.5. And this is much better. Lovely speed, quick position with the bar. Little shake of the head, but that was a job well done. And he goes on. As you can see, big, long levers. And the drive up, very good indeed. Again, good speed getting the bar off the ground. And the snatch, the one lift straight to over the head. So second attempt. First one, not successful. Neither the second. Again, never really got that bar anywhere near high enough over the head. Our man from Georgia, Gozia, lifted 177.5 in the European Championships. But that has to be put in context with the winner, Zertsov of Russia, with his 190 kilo lift. Just making sure he's got that grip really right and the feet really steady and the base perfectly formed. And that worked out pretty well. So he's got a good lift on the board and one more attempt. I think Godfrey's about to come out and take 180. No, Kopitov. Third and final attempt. There's the 3 red weights, 75 kilos on either end, plus the bar, taking it to 170. And then the 2 collars, 175. And there's another 5 kilos on there as well. But too much for Kopitov of Kazakhstan. And that's the end of his snatching. He's left with 170. Which he'll be disappointed with, really. Well capable of lifting more than that. Now this is a very important lift. He's had 2 failures. A failure now means no possibility of a total. And I'm afraid that's his fate. Emelianov will probably go and find a corner to weep in. That's really disappointing, but he's not got the technique anywhere near right in any of the 3 lifts. And no total, no score in the snatch. Up goes the weight. And the Russians hold some strong cards here. This is the man who is the world record holder. His first appearance, he's the European champion, Sergei Zaitsov, coming in at 182.5. 2.5 kilos more than his own teammate. Quite interesting, he lifted 190 kilos last year in the World Championships, and he took the title, the Snatch Championship, by virtue of body weight over Vlad, the Romanian, who's since gone to Australia and has moved up weight. And we'll probably be seeing him tomorrow in the 108 category. But here is Gottfried, looking for a 5 kilo increase, lifted very well at 177.5. So every chance now, this would be a good increase. It would really give his morale a big boost. From the Ukraine. Just a little annoyed with himself there. Didn't get it high enough. Didn't get it over the head. And the arms weren't anywhere near locked out. So he finishes as Gregorian comes onto the stage for his third and final lift. $175, $180, and now $182.5. Well, the big yell, but not the big weight. 3 red lights. So the second attempt coming up at 185 on the bar for Viktor Tregubov. He's 29, a year older than Zaitsev. And these two really competitive. Russia have taken their time to get warmed up in these championships. Didn't really start collecting medals until the last couple of days. Plenty of time, 45 seconds for Tregubov to get this bar off the ground. And he's waiting for the judges to let him put it down. They've done it. That was an awful long hole to make sure they were happy. He's got the 3 white lights. And the Olympic champion of 100 kilos, which has now been corrected to 99 kilos in the revision of weights after the last games, gets 3 white lights. But that will have sapped some energy out of him. Now the Georgian. Third and final lift. Kozia. This would also keep him in contention for a good overall total. No, and looks to have just pulled a little bit on the elbow. Oof, yes, just on the release there, that the bar went back. Yes, just really gave himself a sharp pull. So really now it's the two men who eventually dominated last year's World Championships locked in battle once again. Zertsov, a lift less. This is only his second lift, whereas Tregyubov has already lifted 185. If they want to attack the record, they need this base, and they've got it. Zertsov 187.5 to put the pressure on Tregyubov. So now the bar going to 190 kilos. Remember, the record is 190.5. Turkey, host nation, not really featuring in this tonight. Now Tregyubov at 190. Not going for the world record. Almost balletically taking his position over the bar. And not to be. Well, Zertsov looks now certain to hold on to his snatch title. He's already got 187.5. That's 2.5 kilos more than Tregyubov. So this really, his third and last snatch, can be whatever he wants it to be. It can be an attempt on the world record. He could put half a kilo on and go to 191. But in fact, he's going to 192.5. So the full weight will count towards the total, as well as being a new world record. So Zertsov looking for a useful advantage to take into the clean and jerk. Based on last year's form, he could really do with this, because Tregyubov lifted 5 kilos more than Zertsov in the second discipline, and this would give Zertsov a 5 kilo advantage, and it could be very decisive. So this to confirm the gold, a 5 kilo lead and a world record. Holds it beautifully. Arms totally locked out, really no question. And the snatch champion of 1993 is the world snatch champion also now of 1994, and extends the record book from 190.5 kilos, the old record, to the new level of 192.5. So a really excellent start for Sergei Zertsov, the European champion, in his quest to turn world silver into world gold. The number one man in the rankings coming into these championships. So a chance for the crowd to stretch their legs. Of course, we've got the clean and jerk to come, and we've also got an opportunity to look back to this afternoon's action in the women's 83 kilo category. The best lifts from both the snatch and also the clean and jerk, with records there as well. So plenty still to come in this visit to Istanbul, so do stay with us. The clean and jerk perhaps, hopefully, will be just that little bit more competitive. We'll be back after these messages here on Eurosport.
The security system fitted to this car was a bargain. GT Auto Alarm, the right price for security.
Over here!
Over here! I want to watch my soaps.
What about my match? I've got the solution. Oh. A double feed antenna is the answer to...
Lifters preparing for the clean and jerk, and whilst they do that, a chance for us to look back a little earlier in the day to the women's 83 kilo category. One of those rare occasions when there was no Chinese representation. However, the world champion from Taipei was certainly in action, Xu Shi Shen. We pick up the action this time around, and we focus on the decisive lifts in the snatch, and he holds all the world records. Well, whilst we wait for the first lifter, we'll take a short break, and then we'll be back for continuous coverage. First lift, and unfortunately for Peter Kroll at 195 kilos, not a very good one. And we'll probably, as you may hear from the hall announcer in the background, take a second lift straight away. The hand position, as you can see, they're much narrower, almost in line with the shoulders. There's the clean, establishes that, and now has to chuck this over his head, but it's behind rather than above, and he never gets the arms locked out. But he has two more opportunities, and since I think he's going to follow himself, it means that he has 2 minutes in which to sort himself out and take advice on the technique. Yes, telling him that he's really got to get the bar above. There's the clock on the left there, which just reminds the lifter in the back room how much time he's got. Exactly a minute now. Now he's not going to be attempting to break any of Sergei Zertsov's Russian world records, or I should say the Russians, the world records that the Russian holds. 225 kilos, the world record, set in Sokolov in the European Championships last May. So here we go with 195. And this time it's a good lift. So he really gets that above his head, and that'll be a mighty relief for him, because he's now possibly, well, definitely going to get his total, in fact. One more time. Just works a little bit to get the clean. And a couple of steps sideways, but Kroll convincing enough, and he gets 3 white lights. So tactics coming into play again now. Looks as if Kroll's going to take his 3rd lift. And there's a good few years of weightlifting experience here. Just so not his turn. Zawadzki of Poland has put the bar up to 200. So that means that Kroll also will attempt 200 kilos. Zawadzki, that was the weight he entered, but he's going to go higher than that. So Kroll is going to come out for 200 now. And whilst he does that, he's got a minute in which to do this lift. Just to confirm to you the medals in the snatch: Sergei Zertsov taking the gold, Viktor Tregubov of Russia taking the silver, so Russia 1st and 2nd, and Agvan Grigoryan getting the bronze medal for Armenia, lifting 180 kilos, but being lighter than Mukhran Gojia of Georgia, and by virtue of body weight getting the bronze medal. So Kroll now 200 kilos he lifted in the Europeans when he finished in 6th place. No, didn't get it up there high enough. We'll get a chance to have a look at that in a minute. He finishes on 195 to go with the 165. Now, waiting for the jerk and the arms. Not established in the locked position either. So another 2.5 kilos for Krzysztof Zawadzki, 23-year-old, who lifted 165 in the snatch. Zawadzki quite a way down the order. In fact, when you take his performance into account with the B group, that's the less ambitious lifters who worked earlier today, he's back down in 14th place overall. Oh, he just manages to get that right leg under, but not to the satisfaction of the judges. Let's have a look at the arms, the clean. Okay, his elbow's just a little bit low. And definite movement on the left arm, I'd say. You might see more clearly from the overhead. You can see the bar there right across the shoulders. Splits. Eventually gets the feet there, but watch for the arms now. Yes, maybe double press, slight, but nonetheless there on the left arm. And so that's a failure. The key to tonight's competition could well come down to body weight, because when we get to the men who've put in the heavier weights, as their target figures, there will be very little between certainly the two Russians. That looks a little better. And Zawadzki gets 3 white lights this time. McLean was more efficient, less wasteful in energy and effort. And the jerk, much more quickly established. So plenty of German support for this young man, just 20, a real promising junior. Mario Kalinka lifted 165 in the snatch. For him, this is very important experience. Junior world silver medalist behind Sheslanikov, who's not lifting. And he hoists that above his head. The junior world record holder in the jerk at 213 kilos. Well, he hasn't got to that yet. Arms nicely positioned here. Really drives up there. Just a few steps to steady. This is a nice lift by Kalinka. Comes from Stralsund, near Rostock, near the Baltic Sea. Good start by him. Kalinka, who was only 4th in the Junior World Championships in 1993, but last year grabbed the 2nd with that new world record in the clean and jerk. The German Kalinka really, in a way, replacing Igor Sadikov, who was 4th in the 93 World Championships, but not able to lift. He's out with a knee ligament injury. So at 207.5, Emelianov, and this pretty important for him. This is the man who had 3 failures in the snatch. Now, has he put that all out of his mind? What do they think of that? Good enough. And visibly a lot more control by the officials tonight. Karapetyan for Armenia. Remember, this is class is 99 kilos, and Karapetyan 94.68. So he really is one of the light men, moving up really from 91 kilos. So 207.5 for the man who finished 4th in last year's Worlds in the 91 kilo category. He lifted 215 kilos at that weight. $210 now on the bar. This is Metin Kadir of Bulgaria. Kadir, who was looking to lift more than 175, but that's what he had to settle for in the snatch. Currently in 8th place going into the clean and jerk. Good lift and punches the bar, a little characteristic of his. Now Rybolchenko of the Ukraine, Stanislav Rybolchenko of the Ukraine, in 6th place after the snatch, just behind the Armenian Karapetyan, the lighter man, and it's that difference in body weight that gave Karapetyan the 5th place ahead of Rybolchenko, both men having lifted 177.5 in the snatch. Held the split, and that looks as if it's okay. And the 23-year-old gets a good first lift. Bar, I think, staying at 210. Yes, it does. So now The other Armenian, Agvan Grigorian, 25 years of age. Grigorian, bronze medal in the snatch, having lifted 180 kilos and just that little bit lighter than Mukhan Gojia of Georgia. Tall man and gets his opening lift. So Belarus and Oleg Christo will be the next man out onto the platform. Also looking to open at 210. Christo. After the snatch. Down in 9th place, only lifted 172.5. Having said that, 2.5 kilos more than he lifted in the Europeans. Christo, third in the world rankings coming into these championships. But just to relate that, 387.5 kilos as a total compared with Zertsov's 415. So it's a big gap for him to close, even though he is third in the rankings. It shows how superior Zertsov is currently this season. Nonetheless, Christo, can he put this one away? Yes, this will be fine. Good clean, nice position on the elbows. And then just brings that left leg under to complete the base. Now, Krzysztof Zawadzki, successful at 202.5, but at the second attempt, so this is his final lift of the evening, 210. Poland yet to really figure in these World Championships. Still a couple of days left, but competition really tough, particularly the lifters who were once clustered together under the banner of the Soviet Union, now representing their individual republics. No, never really got that bar anywhere near high enough. And 202.5 is what he's going to have to settle for. So just taking a little bit of a time to warm up to the decisive lifts. But having said that, I think it's going to be worth waiting for. Zaitsev, the man in form with the moment, all the advantages. Now Gottfried, first appearance for him in the clean and jerk, 212.5 on the bar. Moving up steadily all the time. 12.5 kilos away from the world record. Gottfried, 7th after the snatch, also on 177.5, but heavier than Rybolchenko and Karapatian. So Godfrey starts with a good lift. That gives him a little bit of an advantage over his closest rivals. And the two Russians who dominated the snatch really are talented men. Tregubov, the defending champion, also the Olympic champion in 100 kilos back in Barcelona. Zertsev, the Olympic silver medalist in the 90 kilo category 2 years ago. So it looks as if the Georgian is going to put the weight up. Kozia. Which means that the plan has to change again. And the coaches have to be alert to all these different changes. And I just wonder whether Kozia, who did actually bang his elbow on the snatch, didn't really bang it actually, but certainly strained it. Kozia, fourth in the snatch. Kalinka with his own personal group of encouragement. Here he comes onto the stage. Just to remind you, 213 kilos was the junior world record that he set. This is second lift. Well, it wasn't the best lift he'll ever do in the world, but it did the job at the end of the day. It's a different story altogether when you come into the senior ranks. But Petrov last night, Mark Huster the night before for Germany, Petrov of course for Russia. Two young men already making the headlines, and Kalinka, a little way to go, but might well be one of the men to watch at Atlanta in the Olympic Games in '96. Meanwhile, Vladimir Emelianov for Belarus. Oh, really struggling now and using a lot of effort. He'll do well if he lifts this. No. 212.5 just might prove a bit too much. Lifted this weight in the World Championships in Melbourne, in which he finished 5th 12 months ago. But the strength in the legs not there. So I think Metin Kadir of Bulgaria has called it a day. We'll just wait and see whether that's confirmed. Emelianov, though, he's going to have another crack at this. And then the bar will most probably move up. Now, to get this weight, he really needs to get a very smooth, economical clean and conserve as much strength as he can for the jerk. No, beyond him tonight. And he finishes with 207.5, but of course no total. And I suppose by his standards, a miserable evening. And that's the way it goes sometimes. $215 kilos on the bar for the Armenian. Karapetyan, Alexan Karapetyan. Well, this is what he lifted in the 91 kilo class in the European Championships. But of course, moving up now, his body weight this evening, 94 kilos, 94.68 kilos. Plenty of time, just pacing around. See the feet go under the bar. Gets the thumb established, then brings the fingers over. Settling. Drives. Good lift. Two very straight arms, and that's an effective second lift. Big increase, 7.5 kilos. He opened at 207.5. Very reminiscent in a way of Kakashvili, is Karapetyan, his teammate, in terms of the lifting of the clean and jerk. Well, this is Kadir, so he's still with us. I think it might well be Gojia, as we thought earlier on, who's called it a day. Good lift. So far from retiring, gets 215 and is very pleased with that. So Bulgaria's man gets a very good lift, has to work for it a little bit, but he enjoys every success. So here's Karapetyan trying 215. Or I should say Grigorian. This is his second lift. No, not to be. So at the moment, Kadir has 215 kilos. Kadir's body weight 98.04. But Karapetian, of course, 94 kilos. So just at this moment, he leads in the clean and jerk. But still, Zertsov and Tregyubov to make their moves. Second attempt for Christo. 210. Did that well enough. Christo down a bit after the snatch with 172.5 in 9th place. So if he wants to try and attack the bronze medal position overall, he needs to pile on the weight now. No, and he's not going to do it. He brings it back down on his chest. It's getting very much near his level, Christo. 217.5 was what he lifted in the clean and jerk in Sokolov. But now the focus of attention is going to be on Mario Kalinka. Kalinka, who lifted 212.5, and I think he's going for 215, which would be a new junior world record. Well, in fact, before Kalinka gets his chance at that, it's going to be Grigorian taking his third attempt, as you can see for yourselves. Kalinka, by no means one of the light men. He's 98.66 kilos, so, as I said, very much experience for the German, but let's concentrate now on Grigorian. So Agvan Grigorian, he's got one medal tonight. He'll be pleased with that. But he certainly isn't with the clean and jerk. I think that says it all. Really annoyed, to say the least, with himself. Never got any power into that at all, and it was never going anywhere near his chest for the clean. So 217.5 means that Kalinka may have even more ambition, as here's Rybolchenko, Stanislav Rybolchenko from the Ukraine, 23-year-old lifter, currently 6th overall, one of 3 men on 177.5 kilos. Feet just about still. Good lift, but only 2-1, giving it. But once the decision is made, it stands. So now the next man we're going to see on stage is going to be Mark. No, it's not. I keep thinking that he's going to come in, but there are other men, and They're lifting in the order in which they were drawn. So here's Gottfried. 212 the first time, 217.5 now. So a failure there for Gottfried. He has one more. Well, this will be a new junior world record, new junior best in German terms as well. 217.5 kilos. And this would also equal the total for the junior world record. Yes, it's going to be there. Just needs to hold those feet still. Now, did he get it? By 2 to 1. Only just. It was narrow. 5. And Mario Kalinka collects another junior record, but is now a man to note for the years to come in the senior ranks. And Karapetian in real trouble there. The bar right across the windpipe. I think he'll be all right in a minute. Just bringing him round. And attention very quickly in there. He'll be okay. Build them tough. $217, just now look at the bar. When it resettles on the shoulders, it's right across the clavicle. And really cuts the, and he's got absolutely nothing there. He's really losing consciousness. But they're very quick in, and he'll be all right. Christo now. Same weight as Karpetian. Third lift. Failed 215, and he's pushed this up, so he's being ambitious to 217.5, but he has done it this season. Now, good split. Can he bring that leg forward? Needs to get that underneath the bar, and that's a good lift. 217.5, good effort there, and he deserves the congratulations of his coaches and his colleagues. European silver medalist, 7th in the world, and that will help his cause. Gives him 390, Christo, as a total for the moment. But as he, that is Christo, takes the lead, albeit temporarily, onto the stage comes the man who's effectively leading this year's World Championship. Sergei Zertsov, already the gold for the snatch, and a record. .220. His own world record set in the European Championships, 225. So he's looking for that as well as the victory. He really is in sparkling form. There's more there. Now 2-1. Little smile. He's not worried about the one dissenter. Let's have a look at the arms. Do they look all right? A little low on the elbows, but that looks good to me. Now, his great rival, the world champion, the defending world champion. Last year, Chagubov was the lighter of the two men. Tonight, it's Zertsov by 0.04 of a kilo. Zertsov 98.46. Chagubov weighed in 2 hours ago at 98.5. So it really puts the... And he can't do it. So, no, and the arms never locked out. So the advantage really does pass to Zertsov. So, and a big setback for Chagubov. Lifted 222.5 in Melbourne to win the jerk. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. Not that a good lift wouldn't put right just at this moment. That little, see the protections there, maybe some torn skin on the hands from the bandaging. Remember, these men just about 15.5 stone, 218 pounds, 99 kilos. That's the weight they have to be inside. And did the bar touch the knees on the way up? That's a no lift. That's why the jury buzzed straight away. Yes, I think that's... So Chagubov will take a rest while Kadir tries this weight for his third and final lift. He's lifted quite well, 210, 215, and now looking for 220. Kadir lifted 175, so 220 would give him 395, and he would go into the lead in the overall title chase. That, of course, is if he lifts this. but he doesn't. And clean is okay. Just a little bit of a fight to get there, but not the strength to chuck the bar above his head. So he finishes with 2:15 plus his 1:75, which gives him 390. So 390 for Kadir. Christo, though, is the lighter man, so he still leads as Rybolchenko looking also for 220. So this for a total of 397.5. Oof. And really caught himself. And these really heavy weights now. Backstage to be patched up. Oh, and just, yes, he just couldn't hold it, and the bar, full weight came down on that left leg. Oh, this is painful to watch. $220 kilos, 484 very heavy pounds. Now Gottfried, still on this weight, third attempt. Nice clean, got there well, just a bit too much. And he failed at 217.5, so he took the chance, but as it is, his clean and jerk weight drops back to 212.5, only 19. And some improvement in this man, I fancy. Tregyubov, third attempt at 220. Now this is crucial. The world champion will not get a total unless he makes this lift. And it's not just a total, forget about the world records. He won't make a medal in the clean and jerk or the total. That was better though. The whole thing's better, and the judges are going to give him that. 220 kilos. Finally, Tregyubov gets his total. Lifted 185 in the snatch. So now has a total of 405. And that's as far as he can go because his lifts are over, and that's 2.5 kilos less than he lifted when he won the title in Melbourne 2.5 years ago. So really, the title is now there for the taking. Sergei Zertsov, the man who was the silver medalist 12 months ago, now can take 2 more golds for the clean and jerk, and the overall total 225.5 kilos on the bar. The significance of the half kilo is that that would be the world record. So 100 kilos. Those red weights represent 100 kilos each on each end of the bar, plus the bar itself at 20 kilos, plus the 2 collars, one at either end. They collectively weigh 5 kilos. So this lift is for the gold medal in the clean and jerk, the gold medal overall, and a new world record. Now, is that going to be given? If it is, he's got the complete set, and it is.